Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into some more Minecraft action. It has been a hot minute, Cherry, since we've gotten to bring everybody even more Bed Wars action. I think it's been, 5 weeks at this point since the last time that we got to see these teams, so everybody has had a chance to cool down, get their strategies ready for this next round. We are in semifinals, Cherry, and why don't you tell the people who we're going to be watching?
We have some crazy good teams ahead of us here. So, right ahead, I'm currently trying to get this page up. For some reason it's not loading, and there we go. We're coming into the playoffs. Norwell High School taking on INDLS Varsity Minecraft, the Indiana Digital Learning School. Long name, but I guess they're a digital school, so they're going to be playing from home more likely than not. The other two probably going to be staying with a little bit of a vibes check in their rooms, probably. Bremen Senior High School going to be the final team to launch off our semifinals. So, Kaizo, we got a big playoff game ahead of us because the winner of this will go on to the grand finals. So I want to get your thoughts. Do we think that there's some early advantages? I know that you've personally been a little bit more of a seniority in the Minecraft land than me, so I don't know if you have any actual ideas of what could possibly come off of this, or do we just think that this game's going to come out and whoever wins this will have to just come out swinging?
Well, I do think that we've definitely got a favorite going into this one, Cherry, because I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody, because it has been a minute since the last time we got to see these teams. So, on the last showing, Norwell was up against Argos and up against Franklin County, and they picked up 48 of the 49 points scored in that round, in quarterfinals match number 5. 48 to 49. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of points, and that just means that one person managed to squeak through a last hit on one of those kills to pick up 1 point. So for my money, Cherry, it's gotta be Norwell as the team to watch. But we also have, as you mentioned, Indiana Digital Learning School, who made their way through against Mooresville and North Newton High School with 20 out of the, math is hard, 43, 59 points, 20 of 59, so about 2/3, a good showing from them. And then our final team, Bremen, as you remember, we got to watch them last time, and they barely managed to make their way through. They were up against Shenandoah, who looked very confident and very dominant in that week, and they got 15 points over William Henry Harrison. We had a whole rulings nightmare for the scoring, but it was Bremen that ended up advancing and knocking out William Henry Harrison. So, big recap for you. Norwell, definitely the team to watch, but could go any way throughout this whole semifinals.
I will say, in terms of the amount of players, Norwell does only have 5 on their roster, which will be tied with the Indiana Digital Learning School, but Bremen Senior High School, 6 players on the roster. That's 6 different opportunities and 6 different weapons in the arsenal to break out and try and get wins. So, in a way, you do have to at least give them a little bit of credit where that is due. Whether or not that's really going to affect how this game is going to play out, who knows? Obviously, that is really not up to us to tell. But I think that there's definitely a lot of chances for all 3 of these teams to win it out. And especially when we're up in the semifinals, it gets ever so much more likely that we can see this game go all the way.
And while we've got a second before we get into this game, Cherry, because it is going to be a lot of excitement and I don't want to have to interrupt any of it, I do want to give a big shout out to Zotac for helping us power today's stream. It is thanks to their incredible support that we're able to bring you guys all of these broadcasts and help showcase all of this amazing talent that we've got in the Scholastic esports scene. And you can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media, and make sure that you join the community Discord as well. And don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when you post, and that's ZOTAC, as you can see underneath us here, Cherry. But I do think, with all that said and done, we are ready to get underway here. It's going to be another 3-map series for this semifinals, and it is going to be the same scoring system that we've been using. So we're looking for things like bed breaks, we're looking for things like these last hits once the bed is already broken, and those are going to be our 2 main forms of points. But in addition to that, if you are the last team standing, Cherry, you do get some additional points for that as well. So plenty of opportunities for these these teams to begin to mount up some of those points as we get underway here. It's going to be Norwell in red, Bremen in green, and Indiana Digital Learning School in yellow.
It certainly is going to be those bed breaks that matter the most. 5 points for a bed getting destroyed is a massive lead. And I think that those final blows, yeah, they matter, but being the last team already gets you 3 points, so that certainly is also another advantage. I think I like this. Norwell, they're instantly going to be going for central control, not going for those diamond generators, so I don't know whether or not that's going to be a good play, whether or not that's just going to be a strategy that maybe they want to play really aggressively. As you previously brought up, Norwell, in their last matchup, they certainly took the heavy hits when it came to just being the team to throw everyone down to the ground. And maybe that's the plan that they want to do again. And I mean, I like it. You know, diamond generators are going to be strong. We do see INDLS going for those, so they want to play a little bit more late game-ish by the looks of it. But I want to get your thoughts here. Do you think that these diamond generators could possibly just be the green and yellow side just going for a little bit more defensive measures, or what do you think of this idea?
For me, if I'm honest with you, Cherry, I really value space control in this game. I think that having the opportunity to stake out a claim on the central island, like you can see Norwell doing here, is going to be your biggest asset in the long run. But in the early game, Cherry, you also can fall victim to some of these early assaults if you don't know that these teams are coming for you. As we can see INDLS trying to sneak up on Bremen here on this right-hand side of their island, and quite the impressive bridge they've got going on, trying to make their way to this tree. You can see that those explosive arrows are beginning to come out to try to knock them down, but I mean, the damage has already been done. The high ground has been achieved here by INDLS, and Bremen is on base, ready to try to play defense, but hang on a second, TNT goes down, and Norwell's in here as well, all over the place. Everybody's falling left and right, and Bremen, the bed is broken, and already off to an incredibly explosive start.
Let's just break that down. INDLS, they made the aggressive play. They decided to take the high ground on the tree, and they did well by doing so. Norwell, however, came in, swept it all away, and took the kills as well. Now, INDLS, this is their time to really just rush over to Norwell's base. If they can't get this, Norwell is already off to a very strong start. They took the bed, and now they took early kills as well. Yep. INDLS, oh, maybe they didn't. I totally thought that INDLS didn't get the bed break. Okay, maybe I was a little bit wrong there. That's totally on me. But, oh my gosh, either way, that was really good from Norwell, to just get so much early aggression, just with utilizing INDLS completely as well, just getting their aggressive push and dropping everything on their own. And with this bed protection as well, Kaizo, it really seems like Norwell is the team to beat.
Definitely the favorites coming into this one, and credit where it's due to INDLS for really kicking things off there. We'll take another look at the log here. It looks like Green's bed was destroyed by a player on Norwell, so 5 points should be awarded to Norwell. We'll update these score lines across the top, because as you called out, INDLS, despite being the ones that really kicked things off there and were responsible for really starting out a lot of the aggression, it was Norwell that swept in and collected that opportunity as it was presented to them. And that's what we've seen from Norwell up until this point a lot. That's what got them so many points in the previous rounds as well. They were always in position and ready to play, not only off of their own aggression, but understanding that opportunities can come up when given by the enemy team as well. And sometimes you just have to use enemy of my enemy is still my friend. Norwell definitely hand in hand responsible for making sure that Bremen knocked out very early on here. With 15 minutes still left to go in this one, Green no longer available to accumulate any of these points. It's all Norwell all the time with 9-0-0. And it's only INDLS to stop the bleeding any further and prevent Norwell from spiraling out of control here early on.
Yeah, INDLS, they're trying to get some shots off, however, nothing to really find. We will see Norwell starting a forefront on this attack, but a lot of players starting to try and mitigate damage. Oh, trying to get a push off, not going to connect, and instead we will see some fireballs activated, and One kill will be found, so INDLS, they are going to be able to stop this aggression relatively early, but so far, it's just going to be coming back. Some shots come through,
Good
and
shot.
Norwell. Oh, that is rough.
And it is worth bearing in mind here, Cherry, 4 players from INDLS were responsible for playing defense there to only 2 aggressors from Norwell, which means 2 people in red jerseys were elsewhere on the map, right? Like collecting resources, building up any bridges that they might need, staking out potential opportunities to go on the aggressive a little bit later on, and even reinforcing their own defenses. We see this layer of water starting to come down now, and obsidian all the way around the sides for this Norwell bed. Doesn't look like they've capped it off with the obsidian just yet, but that is a huge boon for them on the defense, and frankly could mean that they could play a lot more belligerently aggressive against INDLS. You can see a little bit of that coming to fruition here as already Norwell beginning to lay siege once again to this yellow base. They've got 14 whole minutes to do it, and it seems like INDLS are only in the business of preventing their own bed from being broken. It's not a whole lot of offensive play coming from the yellow side just yet.
And we gotta remember, they had no emerald capacity, so at this point, INDLS, they're certainly going to be in a rough spot. They will not have any options to collect obsidian nor diamond swords. They will be able to shut down one of the Norwell players, so at least shutting them down. They not get in our inventory, but I'm sure they probably had TNT or maybe like some fireballs to try and just break out some of that defenses from the side of INDLS. So it was a good destruction there. But Norwell, they are going to have to do a little bit more defense. We do see Goldie Plays trying to go aggressively here, making a little bit of space with a lot of wool coming out, trying to gather some high ground positioning, and it won't find a whole ton Kaizo. However, this presence alone does make Norwell a little bit weary on whether or not they can go for emeralds in mid, whether or not they can go for diamonds on the side, and they are going to have to really play a little bit defensively here.
And this is a similar strategy to what we saw them employ when they were sieging the green base, as we see TNT coming out here from Norwell, just trying to break up this bridge. But a 1v1 breaks out. Goldie Plays drops down and does actually get the 1v1, and it seems like they're the only person here on this island. They're going to break their way in behind that water, trying to block themselves in, but they won't manage to do so before the respawns come out from Norwell. Good defensive effort there that could have been catastrophic. Hang on a second. On the other side, Yellow's base was broken. Cactuar City manages to make their way in, and while INDLS were out trying to play offense, nobody at home could manage to save their own base. So another 5 points going the way of Norwell, and it is an incredibly impressive performance for them again. It is a clear reason why they are the favorite here in this one.
That is absolutely necessary if you want to be in a good position. However, we will get a little bit of confirmation. Apparently, INDLS will have a player with a mouse issue. Not sure if we will see a timeout, but oh my gosh, Norwell, they've completely taken over this game. They have 15 points already. You said at the start they were a clear favorite. And obviously, they are agreeing with you here. We do see a little bit of aggression coming out, trying to make a 2v1 situation, deflecting the fireballs. Fireballs coming out again. First kill being picked up, unseen down. That's going to be Lil Wolfie as well. One remaining player, Granty Onetree, trying to get out instantly, flooded into their home base. And that's Norwell picking up the win, not faltering at all.
Another dominant performance here from Norwell, picking up once again every single scrap of points that were available. They'll get both bed break credits. They will get 4 last hits on each team, as well as the last surviving team bonus that we did talk about a little bit earlier on. So 21, I believe, is going to be the number that we will be seeing them carrying into round 2. It is worth mentioning here that a lot of these teams will see this kind of insurmountable obstacle in front of them and feel a little bit deterred, feel like they might be in too big of a rut to come back. But playoff season, Cherry, this is where you gotta find that fire within you. You gotta have that momentum behind you and find a way to fight back even when it seems like all odds are against you. And Bremen and INDLS definitely in a situation like that right now, because Norwell are poised and comfortable here after just one round of play.
Yeah, that was an absolute obliteration. It seemed as if the yellow side from the digital high school had some sort of pushback. However, towards the end there, it really just kind of slipped away from them in all regards. The base got back captained, taken out completely, leaving them without any second life situations, and it was just Norwell completely obliterating them. Fireballs rained down from above, and in all regards, it just seemed as if it was Norwell's game to win. So they certainly seem like the team that will likely take away the win here. But as you said, this is playoff season. This is when you really do have to bring it back. So if they can do it, sure. But there's still two chances. Two more games to be played. 21 points need to be brought back if you are either those teams that did not get even a single one in that first game. So it's a difficult win. Just like come to a mutual understanding of Norwell is the opposition we need to kind of let each other live, then maybe INDLS or possibly the Bremen Senior High School could come away with a win here.
Yeah, I think that Bremen are definitely aware of just how effective it can be to get that 2v1. I mean, we didn't really talk about it a lot going into those games, but in this format where we have three teams playing on the same map, obviously being the guy in the middle is going to be a sheer weakness. It just means that you have too many fronts of assault that you have to defend. You only get the one bridge to the middle, and everything else you have to contest with one of the teams to get into. Whereas being on the sides is great. You can kind of pincer the person in the middle, and because of that, Cherry, everybody is going to have to take their turn being the guy in the middle. So Bremen, they've already put in their dues. They already had their worst possible situation where they had to play from what is essentially a structural deficit, is what I would call it, where they're inherently at a disadvantage. But now they don't have to worry about that anymore. They can get straight toward collecting some of these points and accumulating a little bit of momentum underneath them. Because at the end of the day, Cherry, this is match number 8. We've got match number 9, and then those grand finals coming up on 4/26. And we are advancing 2 teams here from this match. So it's not just going to be whoever has the blowout standout performance, like we'll say Norwell coming out with 21 points. Even if Norwell scores all but 1 point, we're still going to be seeing one of these other 2 teams advancing, which could be big here and does mean that despite the fact that both of these teams are quite substantially far behind first place, they still have every chance available to survive to the next round. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters that you find yourself in those grand finals.
I wonder what would happen if Norwell just don't let either team score a single point.
Cherry, we've had enough ruling nightmares already, all right? Let's try to keep things nice and easy for our viewers at home, but I'm sure that we would have some kind of tie break that would be some kind of, I don't know, past performances. I'm really spitballing for you here, Cherry, but I'm sure that we won't have a situation like that. I'm sure that one of these teams will find a weakness as you see both green and red building toward this neutral island. We have, of course, one of these that will be dormant. I mean, no team spawned in here. Breaking the bed doesn't give you any points. That's not going to net you any significant benefit. But you still do get the geographical advantage if you can manage to be the team that manages to take control, as Bremen have here, of this 4th island. That'll give you some resources as well. As you can see, they're collecting there. Already off to a much, much better start than Bremen had in game number 1.
Honestly, I mean, it gives you a little bit of geographic advantage. However, it's not a big deal if you lose control over that dormant island, just because of the fact that, like, yeah, it's offline, but, like, I mean, you get the resources for sure, but you still have to worry about your bed. So, like, if you want to keep control over this blue island, you're just going to be expending another player. So you have one guy going for diamonds, you got one guy going for emeralds. You need to have 2 people by your base at all times in this format. Because if you leave it to a 1v1 situation, then like you're just facing off another guy if they do try and just like come in sneakily get your bed. So I think that taking advantage of that extra island, it gives you a little bit of resources, but it's not a big deal, and I don't think that's an objective that either of those teams should be fighting for, which is why I kind of favor Norwell still here, just because of the fact that this is a school that has constantly been impressive when it comes to how they approach the game. We will see INDLS really committing to this fight in the air. However, this vertical height will probably go Norwell's favor just because of the amount of real building blocks they've taken here. And okay, we will see a contestant.
It's going to be a 1v1, and Lutra will get the better end of that one. Not just an effective speed builder, but also very good in those 1v1 scrap situations. You can see INDLS, who are the guys in the middle, keep in mind. So the guys who are at the inherent disadvantage, they tried to build what is essentially a giant obelisk to try to keep themselves safe and head off the bridge that Norwell had coming over. But it was not good enough, and that does mean that access is very much available for the yellow team into the green, or excuse me, into the red base here. They're going to try to get over the top, as actually INDLS themselves did in the previous map, right? Like we saw them beginning the assault on Bremen by bridging toward their tree. Instead, this time it's Norwell adopting a similar strategy, as we see Christmas colors begin to populate the feed on this left-hand side. Bremen and INDLS scrapping it out over there. And a pillar has been built up once again by the INDLS crew, trying to stop out any of these bridges that Norwell want to invest their time into going for. And even more aggression. You can tell that INDLS are in the scopes here, Cherry, for both of these two teams.
I don't love how INDLS commits to the high ground. I think when you have this anti-explosion glass on your bed, you really don't need to commit to fighting for height, especially in the manner which they're going for, which is just they build up a 1x1 tower and just try and like play for that high ground, because it leaves you open to frontal assaults. And I think in a lot of situations it is going to be a little bit rough, but INDLS, they look good. They've continued to hold off these forefronts of these attacks. And Bremen, so far they haven't really bridged out a lot, which I don't love, but I think that this is just a playstyle that they need to play towards, because they want to be able to secure kills. At this point, two teams are advancing. If you want to play safe and you want to play smart, if you're Bremen or INDLS, you should just be waiting for Norwell to attack one of the other team, or your opposition here, and then you just need to find one kill onto them and you're going to be good. Or maybe you just try and sneak away and find a base. At this point, INDLS, they're probably the team to beat. But, wait. Oh, okay.
False alarm. False alarm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Nick, that was that neutral blue bed that won't be awarding any points that was broken. So, despite the fact that it is very exciting in the feed, it won't end up netting any points to the team that ended up breaking it. It is going to be Bremen now under fire from both Norwell and INDLS. It's going to be, man, I got to find a shorter way to say that. DLS, we'll just call him, beginning to once again get their bridge on the right-hand side as Norwell trying to go through the middle. Now the assault comes in. It is a 1v2, though, so not a whole lot that you can do, as DLS does get pushed off the world there, and Norwell pinching on the other side as well. One 1v1 has been successfully completed, but they will unfortunately not be able to win the second one. Oblivion gets knocked off the world, and that will mean that Bremen will live to see another day. But Cherry, we did just get some answers to your questions, and an exciting one at that from production. Why don't you share with the people what we just found out?
So, in the case where Norwell sweeps it all and kills literally everybody, takes every bed, nobody competes whatsoever, we will be seeing a 1v1 between INDLS and Bremen to see who that second team to advance is going to be. So, Kaizo, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and say that it's likely to happen, but with the way it's been looking, Bremen's defenses have been looking good. INDLS, when they do go for attacks, we saw that happen in game number 1, but Norwell just looks so much faster to the punch, where, like, I don't think INDLS is going to want to fight for, like, aggression anymore. So I think that there's definitely... Oh.
Tough.
And then things like that happen, which make me kind of just regret everything I'm saying.
Hey man, that's Minecraft at the end of the day. Sometimes you walk off the edge, you forget that you're not crouching, and unfortunately you take a spill, but they're gonna get right back up to it and do the same thing. New guy, new same strategy here. Actually, a speed build across. Wow, that is a fast one coming out. And Norwell have successfully dropped the TNT. Here we go, Oblivion going for it all, defended by 2 members of Bremen. And they don't get the bed, but that is substantial damage dealt to the Bremen base. Which does mean that if they can't get those reinforcements underway quick enough, another assault from Norwell or even from INDLS could be lethal. So you'll see Bremen beginning to pull back a little bit and start turtling. And honestly, Cherry, this side of the map right here, it just looks like a McDonald's play place with all of the different colors that we've got going on. And we're not sponsored by McDonald's, but we are sponsored, Cherry, by LANFest. And LANFest has, of course, been helping us build healthy communities through gaming, so we want to give a big shout out to them and all 23 of their chapters across 18 states and 150 events a year. You can find an event just like this one near you at landfest.com. So we see Norwell once again taking the fight to INDLS, dropping even more TNT and just heading for the hills. It is exposed on that backside, but the glass will keep them safe for the time being. And it's the red crew now also beginning to play a little bit more defense as more yellow soldiers come through.
We see one on the high ground, but it's really going to be up to Argon to try and get through to the base. One broken, but a 2v1 situation can make this extremely desperate. Wait, okay, they're going to block themselves in. Nobody's called him out just yet. Going even further, no one's sitting in sight, and that's going to do it. INDLS, bed broken. Norwell going to try and get away with their life, maybe secure one for their troubles. The consolation prize seems extremely difficult. Just being a rat, tunneling underground, but so many players trying to push them out. It is excessively despairing, but they're still alive. They're still cooking under, I believe. And oh my gosh, how on earth will they get themselves out of this one? We will see one. Wait, one of the yellow players is already dead. Will Wolfie able to get one from 17 blocks away? That is nuts, Norwell. And another one down as well. Okay, Bremen, they've taken the lead. They're up 1-0 against INDLS. That is a massive kill if you're Bremen.
It's Norwell still playing some turtle defense here. Saving Private Ryan seems to be the movie of choice as Lutra, who has been responsible for both of the bed breaks on INDLS, goes in and tries to pick up some more of these points. Unfortunately, won't be able to grab them, but the damage very much done here for Norwell. So they strike once again on DLS, who have been hunted down here by Bremen as well. Like you said, getting even 1 point feels like it could be huge for you. And they will successfully land that one, get the final kill on a DLS player. Which does mean that Bremen are on the scoreboard here and have established a lead. Not necessarily over Norwell. I mean, they're about 1/26th of the points that the yellow squad has managed to accumulate, but definitely putting themselves above DLS and putting themselves in playoff contention. Remember, you just have to get to second place in this event, and you will be advancing to that grand finals. And Cherry, Bremen looking very happy to not only get one, but also a second of those final kills onto the DLS members. And 2 points over 0 is nothing to scoff at.
So, at this point, there's 3 remaining players for INDLS. INDLS, though, they need to do something. Maybe not, like, go for anything aggressively. You could just try and skybase, but, like, this is really bad for him right here with Bremen and Norwell both pushed up. Okay,
Oof.
Well, Norwell's not going to team up at all.
Yeah, just gets slain in the back from Lutra, who, once again, I mean, this seems to be their favorite place to set up shop, is directly where the bed for DLS used to be. You gotta assume that more players from Norwell are on the way. TNT goes down in the middle. Hang on a second, that'll complicate things as DLS trying to hold on to these last 3 points. There's yellow on green, but there's no point implication there unless that's taking place around one of these beds, which, keep in mind, Norwell do still have to defend technically, hypothetically, Cherry, even while they try to play offense. It seems like instead they're just setting up shop here on the red base.
What is this defensive setup? You know what? I'm all for it because this looks really funny. I mean, if you're DLS, rough. I think that the ideal situation is Norwell takes away the Bremen base, and then you just play off of that, try and get like an equalizer onto Bremen. But it's gonna be rough because we're in game number 2 out of 3 games.
Right.
And DLS has no points on the board. Bremen has 1. Obviously, at this point, nobody's beating Norwell. I don't even think it's possible.
Yeah, I'm not doing that math, man, but I think that the defense is still very much underway here for DLS, as Norwell, I mean, they've been, I say laying siege pretty lightly, but that's actually what it kind of feels like here for Norwell. They're not letting DLS get away from this island, not letting them collect any resources, just seeing how long they can outlast. And that does mean that they've got another player on the side, and it does seem like Norwell elsewhere continues to find a little bit more hardship. We'll check in with the state of the rest of the map, because another base has gone up for Norwell in the middle here. They're just beginning to build their homes and maybe get some furnishings down, lay a nice new carpet, get maybe a good rug. I don't know if you want to dig too far down, because there is a bottomless void underneath, Cherry, but if you ignore that, I mean, it's great real estate. It's all about location, and right in the middle, where else could you want to be?
Yeah, I think it's at a point where Norwell doesn't really have to worry. I mean, Super Nerds sponges, but the sponges not really gonna do anything. They're already at low HP, and yeah, they just get one shot. But Norwell, I mean, I don't think it really matters to them too much here. We will see Bremen pulling up with some diamond armor. However, it's just these butterfly clicks. Like, I don't know if they have tape on their mouse or what. Obviously, that does help a little bit. But, like, their gameplay just looks so strong from Norwell. They're beating players with better armor, better weaponry. And at this point, INDLS, they're certainly the team that needs to do something. Bremen, they can just kind of play defense if they want, which might be from a competitive standpoint. From a gameplay standpoint, obviously you want to just try and fight. Norwell, it doesn't matter. It seems as if they're just playing with our food. Who knows? So yeah,
I mean, they're playing with house money here, right? Like, they've already done their job. They could just go into essentially creative mode and do this. I mean, build more structures, maybe build like a statue or like a sandcastle or something. When you've got 26-1 and that's your biggest competition, I think that you're pretty safe to begin to rest on your laurels just a little bit, because both INDLS and Bremen would have to get at least 27 points to knock them out of the playoff contention, which, as you mentioned earlier, Cherry, not even sure that would be mathematically possible. So why not have a little fun with it if you're this team? And as we've talked about in previous weeks, there is also a strategic element to it as well. If Norwell maybe doesn't want to play against Bremen later on, or thinks that INDLS is the bigger threat, you could team up with one of those two squads and knock out the other one a little bit more convincingly. But it seems like for the time being, INDLS, not a lot of opportunity to really venture out from their own island, not wanting to give away any more points to Bremen if they can help it. And Bremen across the way, I mean, you don't want to forfeit even more opportunities to Norwell. Even if Norwell gets the bed break, if INDLS collects some of those last hits, those are points that you don't want on the table. So you definitely got to imagine that things are pretty tense here for both of these two remaining teams. It seems like we've reached an impasse.
Well, that impasse is going to be broken a little bit. I believe that's 27 points now for Norwell after that last kill. INDLS down to 2 remaining players, and that's certainly not going to look good. And at this point, Bremen, they don't have a lot they have to worry about. They're going into the final game, which is their only real standstill. Yep, there's going to be, okay, a little bit of pushback. Super Nerd Geo going to be taken down. However, it was a 2-for-1 trade, so it really doesn't matter in its entirety. Norwell, they have 2 more kills. They still haven't been able to secure the Bremen bed. if Bremen is able to get a little bit of a back cap and secures the bed for their opponents, that could possibly lead them to not having to worry at all and just go into the third and final game without really a care in the world if you could get the yellow base and destroy that bed. But I think that's a little bit of too heavy wishing.
Yeah, we got some pipe dreams coming out. And I think that we are beginning to wind down the clock. It's been a much, much slower game this time, Cherry, than game number 1. Don't forget, we had 20 minutes on the clock for game 1, and it only took about 4 of them. So we'll see even more green on yellow crime here. And over in McDonald's land, INDLS, 2 players remaining, 2 available points for Bremen. They can find their way there. But Norwell could honestly just camp them out and prevent them from collecting any points. Really feels like the world is in their hands here. Whatever the yellow team says goes.
I don't even know. I mean, there's still a minute 10. I mean, maybe that would be good for INDLS because that does destroy every base. So it allows you to not have to worry about the dead base. However, with 2 players on your roster remaining, oh, that's a good one. Able to keep the team alive. However, utilizing some golden apples to just keep safe, and instantly Norwell's going to keep up the aggression, looking to just fight it out. However, that's going to be a kill going over in INDLS's favor as well. 39 seconds remaining. Seems as if Bremen wants to be able to end this out early without having to really worry too much. However, they will be shut off the edge as well. So nobody in sight anymore. However, INDLS, they're definitely in a bad spot with even more players starting to flood, and they want to get these kills before that 20-second mark hits.
Norwell. Norwell once again beginning to make their... Hang on a second. Greenbed taken down. Norwell, another 5 points for them, and then even more going their way as they take down those last 2 players of INDLS. A last-ditch effort from Norwell will net them an additional 5 for that bed break, plus 2 more for getting those last hits. I mean, they are beginning to get scarily close, Cherry, to getting the maximum number of points we've seen any of these teams acquire in all 3 games. They got 48, don't forget, in the previous round of the playoffs, and already up to 37 here. A very, very formidable stat line as we begin to get underway in round number 3. And it's on DLS, it's on Bremen to determine who is going to be the one to walk away with this one. It's obvious at this point, Norwell will be advancing. That's just mathematically true at this point. But these other 2 teams, I mean, they still have every opportunity to essentially play a 1v1 between the 2 of them. One of them's got to go home, one of them's got to move on. One team is up 1 point, one team down 1 point. Still anybody's game, Cherry.
I'm going to be so honest with you here.
Do it.
I think Bremen just has it. I don't think either
so?
of these teams are going to score a single point this game, and I think Bremen just has it. I mean, when you really look at it, DLS, they seem like a good team. They had some really good ideas going into game number 1, really just pinching out onto Bremen. But after that, game 2 did not look to go their way. One of them got sniped by a fireball from 93 meters away. I just want that to be known. That's 40 iron put into that just to find a instant snipe across the map. Like, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult, especially since INDLS, I believe, is going to be in the middle now.
I do think that, and we'll take a look here just to, I was going to say, I think it should be Norwell in the middle. I don't believe that they've had that chance, and yes, it will be that yellow pirate ship. It's going to be responsible for taking up that middle section, being pinched on either side. Maybe?
I don't think so.
Nope.
No, Blue's not playing.
Yeah, just call me out, Sherry. When I'm wrong, you just got to call me out on it. It's going to be Bremen that's in the middle.
Yeah, because Norwell was in the middle last game. I think it might... Yeah. So, Bremen in the center. It seems as if INDLS realizes that they need to go for aggression, so they will be heading off to their right side. And Bremen playing really aggressive here as well. They know, which maybe it's just like they don't want to fight Norwell at all. but they're also going to be contesting INDLS for this diamond generator. And okay, instantly Scuffle comes out. Early damage, isolating the pick. Super Nerd already about to fall down to the ground, and there it is. Oh, this is really bad. The overcommitment will be extended, and that's a double kill comes out. INDLS, this is your time. You need to play aggressively, but they will back off. I don't like this at all. I think they needed to play aggressively there and find this Bremen base before they got so much damage inputted onto them.
Well, fortunately for them, backing up did allow them to see that there was another player from Bremen that snuck their way through, was trying to break their bed, as we'll see another 2v2 on the bridge here. Already one down for Bremen. DLS beginning to push their way forward. They've got the 2v2 down, and the respawns do come out here. Goldie plays going straight for it. TNT comes down here. This could be huge, Jerry, as the bed is potentially exposed on one side, available to be hit if anybody's nearby. But it gets sealed off just as quickly, and Bremen a sigh of relief as INDLS is fought away. Norwell can only watch and begin to play some tunes of sorrow, happiness, whatever it might be. Cactuar City is very much a spectator in this one.
Yeah, those are sad tunes. They know that INDLS had the opportunity there to win out game number 3 if they just broke that bed. Bremen, they took it back. They made it work in their favor. Unfortunately for the side of INDLS, they expended a lot of materials on that, whether or not it was the TNT or anything like that. Unfortunately, it will not go their favor, and now it's up to Bremen to try and take it back. One more will fall off the edge. A stone sword in the hand that gives them a small advantage, and that small advantage will work wonders, however, not enough wonders to make. At this point, my prediction, game going to go in favor, like 100%, maybe like, I'll give it a 90-10 that Norwell wins this, maybe 95-5, but I think that Bremen as well should just be able to win out. Oh, maybe not after that, because that player probably had TNT on them.
And there goes another one. Great shots there from Lil Wolfie 25, taking one down from 19 and another from 20, and staving off that aggression coming back their way. And credit where it's due to Norwell, man. I mean, you talk about respecting the 1v1 a lot in FPS games. They're not interested in what is being sold whatsoever by these other two teams. They're very happy on their own pirate ship with their own bed, beginning to build up a giant wall in front of their base. Just letting Bremen and INDLS duke it out, because don't forget, these two are still in the playoff contention, and any intervention would really swing the momentum one way or another, and is just an outright 1v1 between these two squads to determine who will be knocked out, who will be going home, who gets to advance into round number 10 and get the opportunity to play in those grand finals against Norwell and against two other teams, which will qualify a little bit later on in match number 9. But it's 15 minutes, Cherry, for these two teams to sort out who's the better of the two and who will be going home on this one.
Oh, Timbermania trying to go, and they will secure one down. But INDLS, they're creating a pinch onto this player, trying to isolate it, but no, jumping off the wall and finding the pick. INDLS, they're not in a great spot with a lot of players from the red side looking to make their way back over to the diamond generator, contest a little bit. But the pirate ship has been breached, and we can see from the side of Bremen, they understand that, and they're really just trying to play defensively. They know they cannot allow their bed to fall, because unless they take back Norwell's bed, it's going to be excessively difficult for them to take this back. It's actually going to be almost, if not impossible, for them to take the win off of that.
We've seen this strategy from DLS before. This was what got them that early aggression in game number 1, this high ground play, building a bridge over on top of whatever foliage or riggings or whatever it is on the base that they have the opportunity to put some blocks on top of. And Goldie plays is, I don't want to say on a stealth mission. I mean, it seems they're very clear that they're in here, and now gets dropped on top of the pirate ship and will try to base up and prevent anybody from taking their life while they got the chance for it. Bremen definitely need to be very careful here, because the reinforcements could come in at any moment, and it doesn't look like the fortification is anything special for their bed. Looks like, I think that's just wool and wood protecting it. Meanwhile, across the way, Oblivion beginning to be picked off, we'll say, by Lil Wolfie here, as it looks like INDLS recognized that there is another potential opportunity for them to score some points. You could technically sneak your way onto the Norwell base while they're out doing pretty much whatever they want and maybe collect a bed that way. It's not only these two teams in play, Cherry. Anybody is game to have 5 points taken away from them if they get a bed break on them.
I don't think anybody has like a clear way to Norwell's base though, because I don't think either of these teams broke the mid. Bremen might now, and that might be something they could want to go for. I think Norwell is just having fun though. Like they're not even trying.
For sure.
And I mean, maybe that's the right play, just to have fun. Make sure to keep like the team synergy up, just so that like once you get to finals, nobody's burnt out from playing Minecraft. Because I know that's something that definitely happens a lot. Okay, 2v1 situation. INDLS, they're going to be able to isolate the pick. TNT goes off. A little bit of a countermeasure. However, the countermeasure will be broken down. And INDLS, they're going to have to deal with these fireballs that will be ensuing. However, that's just 80 iron wasted practically. So they're not going to be too unhappy with that. Make it 120. And Bremen falling down. Maybe you want to try and play off that. But no, they're just going to start rotating over to mid. Maybe trying to get some emeralds. Maybe they want to get some obsidian. But oh my gosh, I mean, Norwell is still just sitting in their base, and both these two teams, maybe we'll see INDLS just pick up some extra weaponry, which could possibly give them an advantage. Now there's 4 people just playing the tunes.
The drums of war being sounded here by Norwell on this side of the steering wheel. They are very content with their fortifications and just going to let what transpires transpire. Credit where it's due. Like you said, just have some fun. Make sure that you don't get burnt out. Your job well and done. So congratulations officially to Norwell for advancing here. There is no possible way that they could be disqualified. And they're watching on and just seeing who will be their competition going into the finals. And as a quick reminder here, we're only going to be qualifying 2 of these 3 teams. 1 person has to get eliminated. And I can tell that, Cherry, when I go on LeagueOS.com and I take a look at the bracket that we've got going on over there. Because if you want to play esports in college, LeagueOS is a great opportunity for you at home to search through hundreds of collegiate esports programs to see where they are, what games they play, and even what majors are on offer. So if you want to be Norwell in the next round, go to portal.leagueos.gg to search, and even IEN students can sign up to manage their own prospect profiles, and all of your stats automatically update match over match. There's even scholarships available for players as well as shoutcasters, social media managers, and so much more. So make sure when you sign up you add all of your talents to your profile. Because verified college esports coaches, Cherry, are searching the LOS portal right now for promising prospects and reaching out to the ones they like. LeagueOS portal is free for students, so don't miss your chance to get discovered, and go to portal.leagueos.gg and take your game to the next level, just as Norwell have here, and just as Bremen and INDLS are desperately trying to use these last 10 minutes to do while they've got time.
I mean, I don't know if Norwell really is doing that. They're kind of just playing like regular, building up a giant castle. And you know what?
I said they did it already. They're not doing it right now, all right?
Oh, yes, exactly. I wonder what the end plan is going to be here as soon as one of these bases...
Oh, hang on!
Oh, and that will potentially just do it. This is exactly what you need if you're INDLS. They want to try and fight. Now, we see a couple 1v1s coming out. There's going to be the first. Bremen, keep the bleeding stemmed, but it's a 3v1. Isolations have occurred, and Bremen down for everything here, and a scuffle completely folds in their direction.
Oh, well, we were cherry-picking some B-roll footage from Norwell on the yellow pirate ship. It was a war over here on the Bremen side of things, as INDLS do successfully bring down the bed. That's 5 points to their name, and they get one of those last hits as well for another one and bring them up to 6, which does mean Bremen have to get a bed break to stay in the playoff contention. They have to find their way either to this Norwell base or fight their way through the gauntlet of INDLS players without respawns now, Cherry. If they want any hope of being able to survive, you can see frantic is the Bremen base. They try to begin to bridge out in other directions. They're even trying to just hold their own in their own base, but under assault from INDLS, and that will finally do it. The last member of Bremen falls. Points awarded to INDLS, Cherry, and Bremen are officially eliminated. And it's going to be the green team, Indiana Distance Learning School, Digital Learning School, INDLS.
I think it's still digital, yes.
There you go.
Although I think
Indiana
those
Digital
two
Learning
things
School.
mean the
Move on.
same thing. You ever see a distance school? They're fun. They're fun. They're fun.
They're far away.
No, usually they're not that far. I have
But
one
it's a
pretty nearby
distance
to my
school.
house. Well, yeah, but it just means they're online. Usually, though, they do have in-person things sometimes. And hey, look at that.
If that says chicken jockey, I'm going to lose it.
Chicken jockey, yes. Yes, chicken jockey. I love chicken jockey. Oh my gosh. Flint and steel, ender pearl, water bucket, deploy. No, it's
Are
not
you just
deploy.
naming
Release.
Minecraft stuff now?
Release. No, we're doing the bit. We're doing the bit on the Minecraft movie. Water bucket release. Let's see it, Norwell. Let's see it.
Oh, I didn't do my homework for this one.
Oh, for sure. You are not cut up with the Gen Z memes, buddy. Not even Gen
Wow.
Z. That's Gen Alpha, to be honest.
I have not felt older on a broadcast than I have right now as Norwell, in their celebratory phase, beginning
look
to
at that
congratulate INDLS, who are going in with the TNT. And Lucha says, hang on a second, we're all for fun and games, but you're not getting any more points out of us. And they cut down the assault from INDLS just as soon as it made its way in. But regardless of what happens here, Cherry, there is nothing further that can affect the playoff consideration between these two teams. It will be INDLS moving forward, and Norwell will be simultaneously alongside them going into our finals match, which will be taking place on April 26th, right after we get the opportunity to crown 2 more finalists in match number 9 and find out who Norwell and INDLS will be playing against. As it looks like just kind of like a snake situation.
The J is coming out. Oh my gosh, Kaizo. It's literally a chicken jockey. The Fight Club. The Pillager Fight Club. He's heard legends, but he's never seen one up close.
I hate it here, man.
Chicken jockey. Chicken jockey.
1v1 and mid for bed. Alright, so we might have, well, we teased the sudden death rules. We might see that come into play here regardless. Oh, it does appear that Norwell unfortunately have some building left to do, especially now that TNT beginning to be dropped here by INDLS, who want as many points as they can find their way toward. Norwell will play defense once again. Their defense has been stalwart. In addition to their offense, you can see Obsidian surrounding their base. Nobody is going to be breaking their way through that bed anytime soon. The question is, will INDLS successfully convince Norwell to 1v1 for the bed? We have gotten a little bit goofy, a little bit silly here, Cherry, so it wouldn't completely surprise me. But Norwell definitely don't seem like the type to take any risks.
I don't know if they actually completed the chicken jockey yet, so they're probably going to wait until that actually gets completed. However, it does seem to be coming together nicely. I want this to be finished. I want this to be finished. I love the idea of having an entire chicken jockey. Yes, they
It's
have
not
the O.
centered, man.
They have the O. It is
It's
off-centered.
not even
It is
centered on their base.
Yes, because they couldn't make it centered, but they could extend it. They could extend it.
Okay, somebody get out some graph paper and help them plan this out so that it can satisfy my OCD. Because if that's like off kilter on the side like that, I might lose it. And you can see maybe 1v1 taking place here. A little bit of volleyball being played between these two teams on the steering wheel. The bow comes out from INDLS as well, seemingly out of ammunition, or at least out of desire to continue things onward. Will be a Norwell retreat heading back toward the base as they have successfully completed the K, Cherry. We're in the end game now.
You know what's close to the end? One of the best lines from the Minecraft movie. The Nether. I don't know. Norwell, they're going to start having a little bit of aggression on him. We do see Unseen coming up, wanting to try and fight potentially. However, Granty Wanty going to be off the edge, and somebody's going to fall off the side. Oh, and now, okay, they're just going to, okay. Maybe they get it here. Who knows? Imagine being Bremen watching this.
It's going to be Argon playing defense as INDLS is boxed in here and seems to have realized that there's obsidian to be found at the bottom of the Norwell base. They won't be able to pick that one up, and by God, is it beautiful, Cherry. Look at that. Can we zoom out and get like a proper framing on this chicken jockey? Because somebody's got to get a great screenshot of this one all the way across the way. The green bed, meanwhile, has been destroyed, by the way. INDLS, I mean, they're playing all offense, but nobody was back to play defense. So even more points going Norwell's way. You can see the celebratory TNT coming out as well as they just sweep their way through carpet bomber style and begin to lay siege to the middle of the map and break up as much as they can.
Wait, since when did INDLS have 10 points? Huh?
Since I got delusional is probably the correct answer.
Oh my gosh, wait, they're actually doing something? Okay. Norwell is going to hit the 40 mark, and now they're just going to start rushing into the base. There's one, looks to secure a second, maybe not just yet, and maybe they will end up getting it, who knows, it really is. Oh my gosh, a consolation pickup. Cacturosity barely able to secure that last kill, and it is all up to one remaining INDLS member, and Diamond Armor full set will be right here in order to finish him off. So as many Minecraft movie references have come out tonight, it will still be Norwell 43 points, securing the final game. And there it is with the fireworks in the background. Chicken Jockey reigns supreme.
Wow, and you can tell that these boys have definitely done their homework and seen the Minecraft movie, which unfortunately I didn't get the luxury of doing yet, Cherry, but congratulations are certainly in order as the fireworks go off for not only Norwell getting 46 points, getting very close to their record in the previous week of 48, but also to INDLS coming back from some serious adversity in this set and successfully scoring 10 points to put themselves ahead of Bremen and move on to that playoff contention in those grand finals. And again, we have two more teams that will be seeing them. We've seen a lot of 3v3s throughout the course of these playoffs. In fact, every single round of playoffs has been 3v3. But on April 26th, mark your calendars, because we've got 4 squads that are going to be coming in. It's going to be INDLS, it's going to be Norwell, and then 2 others will be joining us. What a fantastic showing from these teams, and you can definitely tell that Norwell going to be the team to watch going into these finals.
That certainly was more than the truth, and honestly, at a certain point, you gotta really think you gotta thank Norwell for the win there from that green side, because let's be honest, if it wasn't for them making that chicken jockey sign, that game certainly could have gone other directions. Yeah. However, just to close this out here, Kaizo, I don't know, do we have anything to finish off?
I've got some things to finish off. I want to give one final thank you to Zotac for helping us power today's stream, as well as Landfest and LeagueOS Portal. You can see them down underneath us right here. Everything that you guys get to see is courtesy of these 3 companies behind us, making sure that you keep supporting this Scholastic esports scene, as well as everybody behind the scenes at LANFest. Shout out to Connie, shout out to Taylor, and everybody on that beautiful LANFest team helping us to put together this presentation. And thank you to everybody at home for watching us. I mean, this is going to be the last Smash Bros that we've got for not Smash Bros, Minecraft that we'll have for a bit. It's going to be April 26th again that we're going to see those finals. But our next stream, Cherry, is going to be Smash Ultimate, and I think that they might see you on that stream coming up this Wednesday at 5 p.m. EST. So definitely don't miss that one, and don't miss out on another opportunity to get even more Cherry J in your life.
And just close us out. Chicken Jockey. That's going to do it. See y'all next time.
Thanks for coming, guys.